Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos. Another paid request this time for Edward. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And these are for 2 more episodes of South Park that he wanted me to talk about. Season 15, episode 13 and 14. I don't know why I'm stuttering. Maybe I'm stuttering because my brain in the back of it is going, what the hell am I going to talk about with these episodes? Because this has kind of been a wishy-washy season. There's been some good ones, but even some of those good ones, they had like bad payoffs, or they didn't go through with the payoffs. Just like Stan's parents are getting divorced, and he's thinking about what changes are going to happen, and then now we gotta go back to square one. Or you get these 2 episodes, and they have their moments, but they have their issues as well. So, I don't know, this hasn't been the best season, at least for me. So, episode 13 is a Thanksgiving episode. One thing I did laugh is that they bring in this guy who's like 1/16th Native American, and he's talking about, the bad details of Thanksgiving, and then Butters pipes up and goes, "It's about murder? Thanksgiving's about murder?" Just his quite innocent take on it is always just a chuckle out of me with the Butters character. And the episode's a big play on the History Channel, in particular Ancient Aliens and that whole deal. But then it turns to like a weird parody of Thor, the 2011 film. Because they're supposed to do a report on Thanksgiving. They don't want to. At least Carmen doesn't want to. He goes, why don't we just watch the History Channel? History Channel starts dealing with Thanksgiving, but talking about aliens. Kyle thinks it's stupid, but the other kids decide to write the report anyway. The report gets heard from by these agents on the History Channel, which even the kids point out, but you put this info out onto your own channel. And it's like the agents never understood that. Meanwhile, this pilgrim lands on Earth. It plays out like Thor. You're going through a portal. You even have Natalie Portman, who drives into places. Apparently, the pilgrims and the Native Americans were aliens. And the pilgrims were like the Asgard, and the Native Americans were the villains. And there was this battle. And the pilgrim's trying to get his way back through the portal, because his 300-year-old treaty is gone. And he shows Kyle that there were 5 planets, and the map is one of those things. Remember, as kids, you'd have to do this to create a turkey. You draw your hand. Well, that's the markings to show the planets: Earth, Plymouth, Green Lantern World, which no one cares about. Obviously, about the Green Lantern movie that came around that time that flopped. So, I mean, pretty much tells me what time period this was made in. Thor, Green Lantern references. Meanwhile, Carmen is freaking out because Stuffing has disappeared. If the pilgrim can get through the portal, Stuffy will come back and he'll get back to his world and deal with his 300-year-old treaty. The shit doesn't sound that fucking interesting or that fucking funny. Yes, it's goofy, it's silly like a lot of South Park episodes, and doing so to create hopeful chuckles and humor. But this felt just completely random. It just felt like, okay, it's Thanksgiving time, and Thor came out. I don't know, let's just mesh the two. And I just, in a weird way, I know it doesn't make sense, but it just felt lazy. It just felt, here's a dart. Up, was Thanksgiving's on the calendar. Oh shit, it had a movie died? Oh, Thor came out. Sure, let's do the two. What are we going to do with Carmen? I don't know. Thanksgiving about food. We already did one on turkeys, and turkeys going crazy. What else do you have? Pies, maybe? Nah. Stuffing? We'll go with stuffing. That's disappearing. And then let's go have Natalie Portman. And it's kind of a weird characterization of Natalie Portman where they have a voice kind of normally, but it's one of those like, hey, show us your portal, and she kind of being shy. Nah. Nah. No. So I don't know if I'm missing something. I don't know if there's some kind of interview or some kind of perception of this characterization of Natalie Portman, or they just pull this out of their ass, like this is how they think she acts, or I don't know. I mean, I know it's South Park, you're not supposed to take it seriously, but I was just still confused as to their portrayal because it wasn't hammering down on her like they do with most celebrities. I just, other than the portal being within between her legs, but I just, the whole thing just didn't work for me. Yes, at times I can have fun with how crazy and quirky the plot lines of South Park happen to be. I don't know, this one just didn't do, I don't know how else to put it, just didn't do much for me. I'm sitting there going, it just seems random, it's not really that funny, there's not a lot of jokes that made me laugh. Other, I guess, if Thor was a pilgrim, I'm like, okay, then what? And that's kind of that's all they had. So then, by the end of it, Kyle has to sweet talk to go on a date with Natalie Portman to convince her. She says no. Then she just changes her mind out of the blue and says yes. They go behind this rock formation. Her portal opens. The pilgrim goes through it, gets back home. They fight the Native Americans. The kids are watching Ancient Aliens again. It says, yeah, the aliens were at the Thanksgiving, but also, what if it was haunted? And Kyle's like, oh, give me a break. And then the episode ends. Yeah, I don't know, maybe it just was, hey, we were watching the History Channel one day, look how stupid they are, they have Ancient Aliens. What came out? What movies came out? Thor, well, we haven't done something on Thor yet, okay. What holidays come out? I didn't really feel much thrust of creativity in terms of the jokes. It just felt like random shit put together, like a last minute ditch effort. I'm sure that's not what it was, but that's what it feels like. So I wasn't really a fan of that episode. Episode 14 I liked a little bit more. Pretty much Kenny, his white trash family gets caught, and him, and I didn't even know he had two siblings, a brother and a sister. Maybe they were shown earlier in the show, but I cannot remember details of Kenny having a brother and sister before this. Again, maybe they were shown, but it's like, that was my first reaction. Wait, he got a brother and a sister? When the hell did that happen? So they're sent to a foster care where the family's agnostic. We don't believe, but we don't believe either. And they have a bunch of other foster kids with them. I did chuckle with the fact that they only serve Dr. Pepper. It's not root beer, it's not cola, what is it? Because I have the same reaction with Dr. Pepper. That's why I don't like Dr. Pepper. Because, yeah, it's not quite root beer, which if I don't have that, it would have to be with ice cream. Otherwise, I can't have it. It's not cola, because I can drink cola. I don't love cola. I prefer, my favorite is Bella Yellow. And then my second favorite would be Mountain Dew Code Red. But it's more of a, I guess for me, I prefer something that's more of a fruit flavor. But if I have to drink cola, I can. But I said Dr. Pepper is like, to me, it tastes like shit. Sorry to all those Dr. Pepper fans, but I'm like, I don't know how people drink Dr. Pepper. It just I know my mom liked Dr. Pepper. I'm like, I'm like, why? But so I did like that joke. Carmen just being an annoying douchebag in this. Kenny's gone, so now he finds out he's the poorest family in school. He gets upset and cries, yells at his mom saying, "You need to make more money," frames his mom, gets put into what he thinks is going to be a better home, but he doesn't. He gets put into the same foster home that Kenny and them are at, so now they're dirt poor. And Carmen, I understand the idea. Carmen's always a douchebag, but here he just seemed much more annoying and a lot less funny in this one. Maybe that's just me. Also, in this one, he just kept telling incessantly these stupid yo mama jokes. Your mama's so poor, blah blah blah. Your mama's so poor, blah blah blah. Your mama's so poor, blah blah blah. And then that is in confrontation with this guy who sends kids to different foster homes. He's telling other stupid jokes about Never Never Land and kids being felt up and was the Catholic Church, Never Never Land, and there was another one, I forget what the hell he said. And that guy was just annoying as shit. That guy, I wanted to punch through a fucking hole, punch through his face and make a hole where his face used to be. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to punch a hole through his soul, pull it out Shane Sun style, and stick it up his fucking candy ass. I hated that character. He was annoying. He was irritating. I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. And Carmen's jokes weren't that funny either. I mean, I did your mama jokes, blah, 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 blah. It just kept going and going and going. You know what? They were funnier than White Men Can't Jump. Those type of jokes. And maybe that was the point, that it's not supposed to be funny. Well, then it's just annoying my fucking earbuds. My fucking ear senses. Shut up. The only interest in me was the stuff in the foster home, mainly Kenny pulling out his superhero persona. Mysterion? I think that was what it was called. With the question mark and talk to light, Trisha Bell, Batman. And I thought it was sweet they was protecting his sister, calming his sister down. Later on, his sister just picked on in school by this other bitchy girl. And Kenny comes in with the super outfit saying, "She's off limits," and beats the hell out of that bitch. Like, that was the best parts of it for me. I wish there was even more of it. And how he screws over this awful foster family that is treating the kids like crap. And took all their Dr. Pepper out and put this, oh, I forgot what the hell beer was. Pabst beer. I guess the makers of any white trash group. That if anybody has this, it seems like their authorities will always find you. This, like I said, the stuff with Kenny and that persona, that was nice to see. That was fun to see. Like I said, it was sweet of him protecting his sister. That part of the story I did like. The Carmen stuff just got on my nerves. And then even when they got there, when he got to that foster home, it was just complaining, then try and do a dance in school about not being the poorest. I was waiting for like Mysterio to go in and beat the shit out of Cartman or someone else and get his comeuppance. And then also the ending just felt completely fucking random, where everything's fine, and then a giant bird, vulture creature thing comes in through the roof, kills Kenny, just so that, Cartman was boasting that he's not the poorest kid anymore. Then Kenny dies, and then Cartman cries, "I'm the poorest kid." He keeps doing yo mama jokes. I don't know what the fascination with yo mama jokes was in this episode. I don't know if it's just something they just saw. They said, "I will put a bunch of those in this episode." Just something random. That's what it felt like. It felt as if, obviously, it's not the case because they're still going on to this day. But it felt like they just ran out of fucking ideas and said, um, we saw the Yo Mama jokes, put that in there. Or, okay, I didn't really feel as much of the big wit and creative energy and laugh out loud, hilarious moments that I've seen throughout this show. So it felt like this period was a weakness of creativity period. There was one review, because I read up about these episodes, there's one review, I forget which one, that said, you know what, maybe this is a point where they should take a break or think of ending the show or something. And I could see their point. Obviously, that wasn't the case because it went on for another couple decades. But, well, decade or just 2011, 2021, yeah, so over a decade. So yeah, it wasn't really big on either of these episodes. This episode 14, at least the stuff with Kenny, that was fun to see, but yeah, it's been kind of a wishy-washy season, at least for me. Definitely not the best season of the show. But still interesting to watch. Thanks once again, Edward. Everyone watching, take care, and we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.